The golden afternoon sun cast long and spindly shadows across the worn wooden porch of the house in Lanford. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of aged coffee and the hum of a busy household. Darlene stood near the kitchen counter, her eyes narrowing as she watched her son, Leo, try to slip past unnoticed. Leo was a brilliant but shy boy of 14 years with messy, spiky brown hair that seemed to have a life of its own. He adjusted his square-rimmed glasses and pulled at the hem of his teal hoodie, which peeked out from under a forest green utility vest. Hey, Darlene called out, her voice a mixture of dry wit and motherly concern. The school called the house just a few minutes ago. They are trying to reach you. It is quite funny how you go to school there every single day, and yet they cannot seem to find you whenever they actually have something to say. I am on the school grounds quite often myself, yet I never see you. Leo stopped in his tracks, his shoulders hunching slightly. I am just in places where they cannot find me. He replied simply. Darlene crossed her arms over her chest, leaning against the refrigerator. And what exactly does that mean? Are you tunneling under the gymnasium? Are you hiding in the high branches of the trees? No, Leo said with a small and clever smile. I go places to read. Quiet places where the world does not feel so loud. Fine, Darlene sighed, though her expression softened. The school has an old bomb shelter from the Cold War era. I figured I would have the place to myself unless somebody in Washington makes a really big mistake and we all have to move underground. All right, stop doing that. Stop being so elusive. The office said they need a Word document of your article immediately so they can print it in the school paper. Leo froze, his eyes widening behind his glasses. My article is going in the paper? You had good news like that, and you were just screwing with me this whole time? Well, Darlene countered with a playful shrug. I do not play tennis or have any exciting hobbies. So I have to have some fun somehow. Can you at least tell me what it is called? Yeah, Leo said, regaining his confidence. It is an article called, My Mom Has No Life of Her Own. So she is desperately trying to live through mine. Darlene gasped, holding a hand to her heart in mock injury. Oh, my God. It is the ghost of children past coming to haunt me. Wow. The front door swung open with a bang, and Kira, a bold and energetic girl of 12 years, marched in. Her high ponytail swayed behind her, and her mustard-yellow adventurer jacket was slightly dusty from a day of exploration. She wore a cherry-red bandana around her neck, making her look ready for any challenge. Following closely behind her was Gizmo, a large and intelligent mixed-breed dog with white and earthy brown fur. He had a heart-shaped patch of dark brown fur near his ear and a cookie-shaped white fur patch on his nose. Gizmo trotted in, his dark brown leather collar jingling softly as he greeted the family. Dan and Emilio entered behind them, their arms overflowing with an incredible amount of packages and bags. What is with the massive amount of baby supplies? Darlene asked, gesturing to the mountain of diapers and bottles. It is for Becky, Dan explained, setting a large box down on the floor with a heavy thud. We were at the mall grabbing some tools before they closed for the year, and there was a baby store folding up right next door. You know, it used to be a Brookstone years ago. Kira nodded in agreement. There used to be a Radio Shack there too. And before that, it was a Spencer Gibbs. The people in the baby store actually thought we were a couple. Emilio added with a shy and genuine laugh. Sometimes the younger man needs the older man's wisdom when it comes to choosing the right pacifier. Wait, Darlene said, her eyes shifting between the two men. You and Emilio went shopping for baby stuff together? We almost grabbed you a stroller. Too, Dan said, wiping sweat from his forehead. But we thought you would like to pick that out yourself since you are so particular. But we did get you a breast pump. The box says it is for all shapes and sizes. Darlene stared at the device in silence for a moment. So a stroller is too personal for you to choose. But the breast pump you figured. What the hell? Let us just grab it. If you would like to buy something different, I can take you back to the mall tomorrow. Dan offered kindly. Thank you, Darlene said, her voice turning a bit more somber. You want to hear something incredibly sad? Who does not? Dan replied, leaning against the kitchen counter. Ben asked me and the kids to live with him in Chicago, Darlene said, looking down at her hands. But I cannot go. Why not? Dan asked, his brow furrowing with concern. Well, I promised you I would stay here to be here for you and the baby. So I have to keep my word. She explained. Oh. Yeah. Right. Good. Dan said, though a hint of guilt flickered in his eyes. And it is such a great opportunity, Darlene continued, her voice trailing off. I mean, I could work at a big city tabloid, and the kids could be in the city that they love. It is really a shame, but oh well. I am giving you an opportunity to be gracious while I am trying to renege on my promise. I could use a little help here, Dad. Of course you should go. You little winner. Dan said with a warm and supportive smile. But you still have to keep your promise in your heart. If I ever go into rehab, I am FedExing the baby to you in Chicago immediately. Okay. Darlene laughed. Just do not make it where I have to sign for it. Because sometimes I am not there to receive packages. Later that evening, the living room was filled with the sounds of a live studio audience laughter from the television. Jackie walked through the door, looking disheveled but strangely excited. Hey, I am home, she announced. Hi, Jackie, the family replied. Oh, you were really missing some fun at the Renaissance Winter Fair today, Jackie said, ignoring her messy hair. Today we recreated the stacking of the bodies that were found under the Great Snow of 1430. It was quite a historical tribute. Oh, my God, Darlene muttered, looking at the piles of heavy cloth Jackie was carrying. Oh, my God, Jackie, you finally did it. I know she was horrible to you sometimes, but she was still your mother. Now we are going to have to tell everyone that this was a tragic accident. What are you talking about? Jackie asked, looking confused. These are drapes for the theater set. You thought this was Bev? No. She is at the dog races in Dubuque right now. No. It would have been cool. Though. Huh. Dan joked from the corner of the room. Yeah. Well, I have only known her a short while. But yes. Jackie agreed with a giggle. That is why I love you. Dan. Well, since you love me, may I throw some of my outfits from the fair into the laundry? Jackie asked, holding up a strange and bulky garment. Oh, sure, Dan said, taking the item. What exactly is this? Oh, that is a 15th century lady's undergarment. Jackie explained. Those pouches are called breast bags. Dan held them up, squinting at the fabric. Well, the history is fascinating, I am sure. But whose breasts are supposed to fill up these massive bags? I do not know, Jackie said, looking a bit flustered. There is a communal changing tent at the fair. I must have grabbed the wrong things in the rush to leave. Yeah, that is what I am worried about, Dan said, narrowing his eyes. Are you suggesting that I am being unfaithful to you? You are being ridiculous. I am only asking for the truth. Jackie, Dan insisted. I gave you the truth. Jackie snapped, her hands on her hips. But if you keep accusing me of being unfaithful to you, I am going to go ahead and do it. I might as well if I am going to get blamed for it anyway. All right, so I will just give whosoever breast bags these are back to the fair manager, and I won't mention it again. Okay, Jackie sighed. I will put them in the lost and found tomorrow. Yesterday, somebody misplaced a small bag of Dove droppings, which were used to lighten one's hair back in those days, and somebody else was looking for their homemade toothpaste. It was an unfortunate coincidence for everyone involved. Outside, a loud sputtering noise echoed through the yard. Snowblower broken again? Dan asked as he looked toward the window. Yep. A voice called back from the snowy driveway. These sudden winter storms catch all kinds of things by surprise. So basically, it has been acting like a frozen gopher shooter for the last 20 minutes. Poof. Good fun for the whole neighborhood. Well, I got something to tell you. Yes? Dan asked as Darlene walked back into the kitchen. Ben asked me and the kids to move to Chicago, she said, her voice steady. He got an offer to relocate the paper to a bigger market. Wow, Dan said, leaning back against the sink. That is a big step. What did you say? Well, I did not say anything yet, Darlene admitted. I wanted to talk to you first. Well, you have my blessing, Dan said sincerely. I personally think Lanford is on the cusp of a cultural renaissance. But if you want to go, it is your call. You sure you are okay with it? Dad. Yeah. I enjoy my privacy. And you are only an hour away. All right. Pop quiz. You forget to take your blood pressure meds in the morning. What do? I grab me a handful of whatever is closest on the nightstand and wash it down with a cold beer. Dan joked. But no pork rinds. Too much salt. Right? All right. You pass. Get out of here. Darlene laughed. Good. Dan said. I am going to need a break anyway before Becky moves in with the baby. You know that is coming. In the small park across town, Becky sat on a wooden bench with Emilio. Her expression tired but content. I gotta rest a minute, she told him. This kid is only the size of a blueberry. Why am I so incredibly tired all the time? You probably need some water, Emilio said, handing her a plastic bottle. Thanks, Becky said, taking a long sip. This will be a good bar to bring our baby to someday. It is like the one where my papa taught me how to play soccer and Chihuahua, Emilio said with a bright smile. Aunt Jackie has done an amazing job improving your English, Emilio. But a Chihuahua is a small dog. Becky corrected him gently. Chihuahua is where I grew up in Mexico. He clarified. We will agree to disagree on that one, Becky teased. I think it is time for you to have something to eat, Emilio said, opening a small container. Oh, that is so thoughtful, Becky said, her eyes lighting up. It is a tuna casserole with potato chips on top. That is my absolute favorite. Yes. Your papa told me, Emilio said. He said it is a very important part of your white heritage. This is delicious, Becky said after a few bites. Listen, I am sorry it took me so long to give you a real chance. You are a good guy, Emilio. And I am a good person too. I just never imagined my life would be like this. Sitting and eating in the park with the father of my child who I barely know. That is funny, Emilio replied softly. Because this is exactly what I dreamed my life would be like. Sitting in a park. Getting to know a strong and beautiful woman like you. Who is about to have my baby. That is so sweet, Becky whispered. It is the truth, he said firmly. Back at the house, a different kind of conversation was unfolding between Dan and Jackie. Hey, is that my laundry on the floor out in the hallway? Dan asked as he walked into the living room. Yeah, I threw it there, Jackie replied. Have you been drinking again? I will ask the questions here, Dan snapped, holding up a piece of paper. Explain this to me. This is my phone bill. Why do you have it? Because if you are going to cheat on somebody, you should be smart enough to pay your own damn phone bill, Jackie yelled. That way you are the only person who has access to it. Because the number that comes up most on that bill belongs to someone listed as Breast Bags. Breast Bags has a doctorate in 16th century music and costuming. Dan shouted back. I call her frequently to be sure I am dressed correctly and humming the right madrigal. Really? Jackie asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Because when I talked to her, I asked her about the shirt I found. And she said, oh, my boyfriend must have accidentally grabbed it. You son of a bitch. Jackie. Oh, Jackie. This is unnecessary. Dan tried to calm her down. It does not mean anything. It does not mean anything. Jackie screamed. Yes. Yes. I am with you. Not her. Dan insisted. A stupid affair does not mean I love you any less. Do not throw what we have away by being so narrow-minded and provincial. Do not play your mind games with me. Jackie cried. This is not my fault. Is it not? Jackie. Dan countered. Do not let your insecurity drive away another man. Oh, my God. Jackie sobbed. Dan told me you were taking advantage of me. And I did not listen. Because I was weak. You are not weak. Dan said, reaching out to her. Well, not anymore, I am not. Jackie said, stepping back. Oh. Ow. 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 That hurt. That hurt. Well, Ben, that means I am doing it right. Darlene said as she walked into the room and saw the commotion. Oh, this is beneath you. Jackie, Dan said, shaking his head. Beneath me? You are beneath me. I trusted you. That really hurt. Jackie yelled. Get the hell out of this house. God. The room fell into a tense silence until Darlene gathered the children in the kitchen. Okay. So nothing is written in stone yet. She began. But Ben asked us to move in with him in Chicago. What? Leo asked, looking stunned. That is crazy. Oh. My God. Kira shouted, jumping up from her chair. I love you. I am going to go pack my bags right now. Gizmo barked in agreement, his tail wagging furiously. Whoa. 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 Darlene said, stopping her. I did not even say yes yet. Here. Kira. Use my phone to tell your friends the news. Oh. You are letting me look at your phone? Kira asked, surprised. I do not like the way you said that. Darlene replied. But if we go back to Chicago, how are we going to see our dad? Oh. Well. We will come visit often. And he can come there to see us. Darlene explained. What about Grandpa? Leo asked. He can come see us too. And he will still have Aunt Jackie and Becky here. Darlene said. Plus, we are leaving the chickens here to keep him company. Which amuses me to no end. Did you call a moving company already? Kira asked. Hey. A voice called from the doorway. It was David. Hi. Darlene said. Surprised. You surprising the kids? Probably. David said, looking nervous. But I am going to surprise you first. I broke up with Blue. What? Why? Darlene asked. She wanted kids. And I just could not do it. David admitted. Yeah. Well, that is a good call on your part. Darlene noted. A little moonshine and epiphany would have given us respiratory problems from all that sage she burns in the house. She wanted the whole works. David continued. Marriage. Everything. When you and I did it, I knew that I wanted it. But she is not you. Do not. Do not do this. Darlene pleaded. You know I am in a relationship with Ben. I was in one just half an hour ago. David said. There are a couple of things you can say to end it right away. One is to call the other person flaky. That will get a toaster flying through the air real quick. David, you think you can just come in here and I am going to drop everything? Darlene asked. Are you high right now? A little. David confessed. Yes. I am hoping you will. Okay. Come on. I did everything I said I was going to do. I got a steady job. I am in my kids' lives now. There is no reason. Absolutely no reason we should not be together. I can think of one. Darlene said firmly. Ben just asked me and the kids to move to Chicago with him. Okay. Tell him no. David said simply. Wow. Are you really going to bail on me to move in with some stranger? Darlene asked. You mean like you did with Blue? David countered. Hey. You said we were done. Darlene reminded him. That is the only reason I moved in with her. And, by the way, I have a ridiculous tattoo on my arm now. That is kind of your fault. It is too late. David. Darlene said. All right. Now, the kids are going to be an hour away. And I will just make sure that you can see them on a regular basis. No. Hey. I love you. David said. His voice low. And you said you would love me forever. You are going to change your mind about this. It is way better to do it now than 2 months after you move the kids to Chicago. Grab your coat. Dan interrupted, walking back into the room. Jackie is in trouble down at the bar. The kids are in the kitchen. David, show them that you got a tattoo, so they know it is not cool anymore. They drove down to the local pub, finding Jackie sitting at the bar with a glass. Jackie is wasted. Dan explained to Darlene. The owner remembered her from this being the old lunchbox. So she is being cool. But get her out of here, or I have to take her into the station. Thanks. Rog, Dan said to the bartender. I think we got this. Oh. Holy. Jackie yelled, seeing them. Are you here to eat? Sure. Jackie. Darlene said gently. Okay. Well, I gotta warn you. We only serve Chinese food tonight. Jackie said, slurring her words. Got it. Darlene replied. So. You should not be drinking on the job. Right? No. I should be. Jackie insisted. China is on the other side of the earth. It is all opposite there. So what do you recommend? Dan asked. Oh. Not giving your heart away to anyone. Jackie said sadly. Peter was cheating on me. Oh. I am so sorry. Jackie. Darlene said. No. Do not worry. I took care of it. Jackie claimed. Because I explained to him that he was not treating me very well. And then I whipped the bejesus out of him with a wet towel. What? Dan asked. Surprised. Hey. Jackie. How about sitting down with us for a bit? Darlene suggested. Yes, I can take my break now because I do not really work here anyway, Jackie said. I used to though. Me and my sister, we own this place. We called it the Lunchbox, and it was the last place I was truly happy. Your dad, Darlene, do you know Dan? Your dad. He was right about Peter, and I did not listen to him. Okay, I gotta get these people their fortune cookies because it is a Chinese restaurant, you know. All right, Jackie said, handing out cookies to a nearby table. It is so nice of you to dine with us tonight. Let's see what you get. You will find happiness and romance. It is a lie? It is a lie? Because it is supposed to say that your sister is going to die and that the guy that you thought was going to save you, he did not give a rat's ass about you. So that is your real fortune. Okay. Time to go, Dan said, taking Jackie by the arm. I will get her purse. Yep. Darlene agreed. Hey. 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 This place is boring. Jackie. Why do you not get in the car? I will take you to a better bar. No. Trick. Trick. Jackie shouted. Trick. It is a trick. It is a trick. It is going to be okay. Darlene whispered. Let's leave these folks to their dinner. Oh. Brother. Dan sighed as they walked back to the car. You know. It is not. It is not the lunchbox anymore. Rough night. Huh? Ben asked as they arrived back at the house. Yeah. Darlene replied, looking exhausted. How is Jackie doing? Ben asked. She is sleeping it off in the guest room. Darlene said. You know, you did not have to come all the way over here. Well, you said you wanted to talk about Chicago. Ben said. I was obviously anxious to hear what you decided. So what is up? I definitely want to move in with you. Darlene began. But I just cannot leave my dad alone right now. He is too vulnerable. Your dad? Ben asked. Skeptical. He looks like he could still be swatting down airplanes from the top of the Empire State Building. I know. Darlene said. It just would not be fair to move to Chicago and then a couple months later realize that I should be here. You know? For my dad. So. Is this like? And I do not mean to be morbid. Ben said. But until he dies. Or could this change at some point? Oh. No. I mean, it could definitely change. Darlene assured him. I just need some time. You know, just to get him used to the idea. And in the meantime, I will commute back and forth. Yeah. That will work. Ben agreed. So are we still on for tonight? Yes. Of course. Darlene smiled. Okay. All right. Well, then I will see you later tonight. All right. I love you, Darlene said. I love you too, Ben replied. The next morning, Jackie sat at the kitchen table, looking a little better but still pale. Oh, Aunt Jackie, I did not know you were up, Kira said. You must feel like hell. Well, like I have been through hell, that is for sure, Jackie admitted. I have been throwing up kind of regular this morning. Was I at some Chinese place last night? Because I have got, like, rice everywhere in my pockets. You know, I just want to say this. No matter how horrible things seem right now, you just never know what is going to happen tomorrow. So bad things turn to good things turn to great things turn to confusing, possibly great, but also possibly bad. But if you are lucky, they could be confusing. I think you went past your point, Kira said with a light laugh. I am okay, Jackie said. Everything is just coming out now. You know, all the toxic mess of my life that has just been boiling up ever since your mom passed away. But I just gotta work real hard on why I always look outside myself for happiness. Oh my God. I got a life coach client in 20 minutes, and I have got puke in my hair, and I got no time to take a shower. Can I borrow a brush? Hey, Becky, Darlene called out. You got a brush in your purse? Aunt Jackie needs one. Sure, Becky said, handing it over. Great. Thanks. I will get it right back to you, Jackie said, rushing out. What are you doing, Becky? Darlene asked. Now that I am getting a few bucks from Emilio, I am replacing all the stuff I took from the pantry over the last few weeks, Becky explained. Okay, Darlene noted. You took Oreos. But these Choco sandwich discs are definitely not the same thing. Becky ignored the comment. Has Emilio called you today? No, Darlene said. I got a message from a number I do not recognize, Becky said, showing her phone. I heard there was a big ice raid downtown today, and they hit several restaurants, Darlene said, her voice turning serious. Oh, my, Becky whispered. This is ridiculous. These people are just trying to have a better life here. He was here illegally, Darlene, Dan said, walking into the room with a somber expression. Oh, so you do not have a problem with what is happening to him? Darlene asked. I have a big problem with it, Dan snapped. I like the guy. My daughter is about to have his baby, and he may be getting dragged out of the country as we speak. You think I want that? Damn it. That is Emilio, right? Becky asked, reading the text message aloud, taking me to Tejas and then turning me over to authorities in Juarez. I will find a way back to you and our baby after a short time in Chihuahua. In the city. No dig dog. Just then, Leo burst into the room.